Hello and welcome to the week with me, Pooja Avasthi. Today we bring to you an unfolding story from Azamgarh and Unnao. On the 2nd of August, it was first reported that in the Sidha Sultanpur village of Azamgarh, a child aged 6 died due to diphtheria. Since then, there have been 6 deaths in Azamgarh, and 5 of these have been in Sidha Sultanpur. While the media might give you different numbers of the number of deaths which have occurred so far, we can confirm this based on our conversations with the affected families. In Unnao, 8 children have been admitted to the district hospital for diphtheria. Now, 4 of these have been discharged, while 4 are still admitted. Of the discharged children, we cannot be sure whether they were referred elsewhere or they were cured and sent home. Hence, for now, we can confidently say that 6 children so far have died of diphtheria. The Congress has been at the forefront of raising the issue. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra also put up a Facebook post which said, "How would those children who were gone be brought back? Could anybody do that?" She has also asked the state government to pay special attention to the sanitary conditions of the village and also compensate the parents of the deceased children. In Unnao, it was former MP Anu Tandon, who is a senior Samajwadi Party leader and who has been working on the cause of women and children for many years now, who first raised attention to this issue of diphtheria affected children in the district. Anil Yadav, a general secretary of the state Congress, has been in Azamgarh for the last few days, and he has been insisting that the district administration is not taking these deaths seriously and has in fact made a mockery of these deaths.
आजमगढ़ के मिर्जापुर ब्लॉक में सीधा सुल्तानपुर एक गांव है और सीधा सुल्तानपुर गांव में 2 अगस्त को एक बच्चे की मौत होती है। 2 अगस्त के बाद 13 अगस्त तक लगातार एक दिन 2 दिन के गैप पे बच्चों की मौत होती है और 5 बच्चे मरते हैं, जिसमें सिर्फ एक बच्चे पर प्रशासन का ये कहना है कि इस बच्चे की मौत गला घोटू से हुई है। और जब ये बात मीडिया में आती है तो प्रशासन ये भी कहता है कि नट समाज के लोग जो है वो पढ़े लिखे नहीं हैं, रूढ़िवादी हैं, इसलिए टीकाकरण इनका नहीं हो पाया है। जबकि टीकाकरण की जो पूरी जिम्मेदारी है वो प्रशासन की है और अगर कोई समाज, कोई टोला, कोई मोहल्ला, कोई ग्राम सभा टीकाकरण नहीं कराती तो इसकी जिम्मेदारी प्रशासन की होती है कि वो वहाँ जागरूकता फैलाए। लेकिन सीधा सुल्तानपुर में ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं हुआ। जो दूसरा बड़ा सवाल है कि 5 बच्चों की मौत हुई है, जबकि प्रशासन सिर्फ लगातार ये कह रहा है कि एक बच्चे की मौत हुई है और 4 बच्चों की मौत कैसे हुई है इस पर प्रशासन की आपराधिक चुप्पी है। तीसरी जो महत्वपूर्ण बात है, चूंकि नट समाज के लोग बहुत गरीब हैं, पढ़े लिखे नहीं हैं, उनका कोई नेता नहीं है, उनकी कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी नहीं है, इसलिए शायद उनका सवाल लगातार जो है वो दबाया गया कि इतनी बड़ी घटना होने के बावजूद किसी भी मीडिया चैनल ने उसको उस तरीके से नहीं दिखाया और ना ही प्रशासन ने इतनी गंभीरता से लिया। हमारी नेता प्रियंका गांधी ने जब ट्वीट किया तब उसके बाद प्रशासन थोड़ा सक्रिय हुआ और थोड़ी बहुत जो है वहाँ पे टीकाकरण की व्यवस्था हो पाई। अभी भी जब हम लोग सीधा सुल्तानपुर के गांव में गए, उसके बाद भी हमने देखा कि डॉक्टर को फ़ोन किया जा रहा है कि टीकाकरण इनका नहीं हुआ है, अभी ये बच्चा बीमार है। उसके बावजूद भी अभी प्रॉपर ट्रीटमेंट जो है, प्रॉपर इलाज, प्रॉपर जांच, वो सारी चीज़ें नहीं हो रही हैं। सीधा सुल्तानपुर में जो गांव के लोग हैं, जो नट समाज के लोग हैं, उनकी मांग है कि जो बच्चे मारे गए हैं उनके परिजनों को मुआवजा दिया जाए, उनको आवास दिया जाए, गांव में एक शौचालय की सुविधा कराई जाए। और गांव में बहुत सारे लोग हैं जिनके पास आधार कार्ड नहीं है, जिनके पास राशन कार्ड नहीं है, एक किस्म के वो नागरिक नहीं हैं, तो उनकी भी जो ज़रूरतें हैं उनको पूरा किया जाए। और इन्हीं सारे मसलों को लेकर हम लोग आंदोलन कर रहे हैं। आजमगढ़ में तमाम जो है सामाजिक कार्यकर्ता हैं, पॉलिटिकल कार्यकर्ता हैं, वो इस आंदोलन को आवाज़ उठा रहे हैं।
Nobody that we reached out to in the health department was willing to talk on record, but one official in Azamgarh did say that these deaths can be attributed to the fact that these children had not been vaccinated. However, in my conversations with family members of these deceased children, all family members insisted that the children had in fact been vaccinated. Their ages range from 1.5 years to 6 years.
जो बच्ची मरी आपकी क्या थी?
हमारी नतनी
कितने साल की थी?
4 साल
4 साल की थी।
हाँ।
टीकाकरण लगा था कि नहीं?
टीका लगा रहा था।
अच्छा।
हाँ, टीका लगा रहा। मैं उसको 2 दिन के अंदर में एक गला फूला, उसको लेके मैं शाम के जा रहा हूँ डॉक्टर के यहाँ, तब तक इंतकाल हो गया।
अच्छा। अच्छा, कब ख़त्म हुई लड़की?
10 बजे।
10 बजे कै तारीख को? तारीख याद है?
13 तारीख।
ये बताए सरकार से आपकी क्या मांग है?
मांग रहा हूँ सर कि यह है कि कुछ मुझको मुआवजा दे दो, ऐसा कि मेरे घर द्वार नहीं है, मेरी नारी नूरा नहीं बन रहा, मैं दिक्कत में हूँ, कहूँ हुआ नहीं हो रहा सर।
डॉक्टरों से क्या चाहती हैं? स्वास्थ्य विभाग से?
अब डॉक्टरों से टीका वाला चाहते हैं डॉक्टर, दवाई, सब बच्चे के टीका लगे, दवा दें।
Families of the deceased, in fact, have been unanimous in the opinion that one of the big factors which makes life unlivable in their village is that it is completely run over with garbage. The drains are overflowing. A couple of months ago, they say a sanitation drive did take place, but it was more of a photo opportunity. Social activists in the area have told us that health officials have now reached out to them and said, asked for their help so that vaccination camps can be set up and targets be met. This is Anu Tandon from Unnao said, and I quote, that if the country has successfully fought polio through its effective vaccination program, there is no reason that similarly effective vaccination programs cannot be implemented for other diseases. Vaccination in rural areas should especially be properly organized. Awareness is a must, and the government should reach out to every section of society. It is unacceptable that children should die of preventable diseases. Why should it matter that diphtheria is spreading in small villages in 2 districts of this state? Well, because almost as soon as we are born, among the vaccines given to us is one which protects us from diphtheria. Through our life cycle, we are actually supposed to have 5 of these vaccines. Most children, however, end up getting only 3 because it is till the age of 16 that these vaccines have to be given. But most children don't get them out of carelessness, or maybe because the parents don't think it's important enough to get them till the age of 16. Now, an outbreak of diphtheria is simply bad news. And India is one of the countries which has seen an uptick in the number of diphtheria cases. In fact, in Southeast Asia, 3/4 of the number of diphtheria cases come from India. In 2016, Kerala saw a rather bad outbreak of diphtheria with almost 533 cases reported from 11 districts. The point to be noted here was that almost 80% of the children who had this disease were of the age of 10 years plus, which means they had had their vaccines in the initial years of their life, but not in those which they were supposed to have after they were 10 years of age. Diphtheria is a disease which is caused by a bacteria. It might be dismissed as something very innocuous, sore throat, slight swelling, fever, but it can also go on to impact your heart, kidneys, and lungs. Adult diphtheria is also not unknown. And in fact, the government of India is amongst those countries which now has a combined vaccine for tetanus and diphtheria. But while tetanus cases have been going down, diphtheria cases are still persisting. Hence, the story of Azamgarh and Unnao actually points to a larger problem that somewhere in our vaccination program, we are not able to achieve the targets which we should be. Just last week, there were figures put out by the UP Department of Health that almost 67,000 children who were supposed to be vaccinated had not been, which means that the target had fallen short by those number of children. So when targets are not met for a disease like diphtheria, which is airborne, it means it can spread and it can harm a far greater number of people than those who are directly and initially infected.
With diphtheria is caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae, that is a gram-positive bacilli, occurring mostly in children, but sometimes in adolescents and adults rarely. And this is a quite infective disease. The incubation is about 5 to 7 days.
Right.
It usually involves the upper respiratory tract, including throat, nasal passage, and laryngotracheal system. Once it causes a throat infection, there is a formation of pseudomembrane, grayish white membrane over the tonsil, and it is extended widely. And once you scrape it over, it may bleed. That is the main feature of it. The patient complains of throat pain, increased salivation, and fever, and child is very toxic, and he needs immediate urgent hospitalization and treatment. If it is a nasal involvement, there may be unilateral or bilateral, respectively. There will be nasal discharge, either unilateral or bilateral, and there will be nasal tone, and upper lip may be excoriated. If it is a laryngotracheal bronchitis involvement, then there may be sore throat and stridor, noisy breathing, dyspneic. A main complication of diphtheria is respiratory failure, and sometimes it causes heart involvement, causing congestive heart failure or arrhythmias, myocarditis. And it may involve the nerves also. It may cause palatal palsy. It may cause neuropathy, peripheral neuropathy. And it may cause ocular involvement, nerve involvement, leading to difficulty in accommodation also.
Right.
And treatment is urgently required in the form of, and first you have to investigate it for throat of infection. It is to be done by this staining by Albert staining. And it is culture is positive after some time. It is 8 to 12 hours. But the treatment should be started as it is suspected clinically by anti-diphtheric serum and antibiotics, benzathine, penicillin, or erythrocin is given. And if the patient is having some contact, that contact should be given for 7 days treatment in the form of erythromycin for 7 days.
Right, right.
Treatment should be started as soon as the possible. It is best to have a vaccination properly in the child done. Then diphtheria is controlled by 80 to 90%. If it is properly done from the age of 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 12 weeks, 1 month interval, initially for 3 doses of diphtheria, DPT, along with other vaccines like injectable polio and pneumonia. The booster dose is given at 1.5 years and at 5 years also. Later on, at the age of 10 years, it is given as a Tdap, which contains low dose of diphtheria along with tetanus.
Yes.
And at 16 years also, we give tetanus toxide. Though if the schedule given by in vaccination, then diphtheria is controlled.
Health Department officials in Azamgarh said that parents were unwilling to get their children vaccinated because there were a number of myths surrounding the vaccine. One of the most prominent myths is that it causes infertility. Now, remember, this was also a myth which was widely prevalent with the polio drops. However, the country did overcome it. And every family that I spoke to said the children, in fact, had been vaccinated. So the flaw lies elsewhere. This remains an unfolding story, and we shall be getting you updates on that. But for now, we hope that the UP Health Minister, who has made a statement 3 days ago, that the vaccination drive in the state will be brought up to mark, keeps his word, and that no more children are lost to diseases which are preventable and diseases which can be easily treated by antibiotics if detected on time and if medical help is available on time.